A little bit. I should be fine.
Next, ready? Whoa, whoa. You ready?
Hello everybody and welcome to the Maitland Sports Ground. We're about 2-3 minutes away from the kickoff, and if you just tuned to the telecast here this afternoon, it's about to pour down here. Not the best rugby league conditions, and we know that South Newcastle don't necessarily play great wet weather football, so it's going to be an interesting afternoon for them. And of course the Maitland Pickers, the home side, well, it's a must-win game today for them. It's all or nothing, so it promises to be a spectacular 80 minutes of real NRL. Without further ado, my co-commentator this afternoon, all the way from Hong Kong, fresh off the plane. Good afternoon to Michael Cox.
Good afternoon, Peter. Great to be here at Maitland Sports Ground. The weather's just taken a turn for the worse. It was wintry conditions, now it's cold and wet, and the spectators looking for cover just before the kickoff for this first grade encounter.
Well, as it continues to bucket down, fortunately throughout the week we went away to Townsend Oval. It was a fairly dry pitch out there at Townsend Oval throughout the week, and we caught up with the South Newcastle Lions coach, Adam Bettridge. This is what he had to say to Bar TV throughout the week.
Yeah, mate, the coverage that Bar TV and obviously B Live streaming are giving is it's awesome. Since, like I said, since we started, where people used to have to ring up and say, oh, what's the results here and there, and now with the coverage, especially that you guys are giving, you've got kids from out of town that parents can watch or relatives can watch, and they love the coverage, and also the commentary of the games as well. It's a bit like the old grand final day. Used to get commentated once a year, and everyone.
Well, we're back here at the Maitland Sports Ground, and we'll now go to Adam Bettridge. He caught up with Bar TV throughout the week, and actually the South Newcastle Lions are coming out onto the field right now. There hasn't been too many changes for the South Newcastle Lions. In fact, they haven't had any changes to their program, which was in the Newcastle Herald throughout the week. So we might go through the South Newcastle Lions program as they come out onto the field. At fullback is Steve Witters. On the wings is Ryan Pywell and also Lewis Schneider. The centre pairings of Teeson Vivali Eli and Jared Edwards. The halfback 5/8 combination is Scott Briggs and Jared Rodimer. Big boppers of a forward pack: Dan Cordner, Liam Higgins, Jerome Wilson, Jason Strickleton, Bo Simpson, and locking the scrum for the South Lions is Todd Hurrell. Their interchange bench looks this way: Noel Tupu, Ryan Lippiett, Ben Tupu, and Liam Richards. The Maitland Pickers look this way. There's been a stack of changes for the Maitland Pickers. There's no Josh Morrison, no Billy Towers. The 5/8 has gone for the Pickers. Going to be a big loss for them. And no second rower in Jeremy Salupu. So let's go through their side. Dow Nickow, the son of the New Zealand international Tuara Nickow, at fullback. On the wings is Ryan Lacey, and also it looks like maybe Pat Robards will go into the wing position. Randall and Jennings in the centres. As we mentioned, no 5/8 Billy Towers, so Jad Solomon. Halfback is Luke Clydesdale. Peter Ratter in 8. Got a try last week against Central in their loss, as Maitland come out onto the field now. Terrence Siu. We all know Terrence, of course, from the Newcastle Knights and the Cessnock Goannas. He's back at hooker today, the 26-year-old. Metcalf in 10. Jaden Rosberg in 12. And the captain coach of the Maitland Pickers is PJ Ellis. The interchange for the Pickers: Tyler Carter, Pat Robards, Dan Killen, Howie Grant, and jersey number 19 dropping onto the bench will be Tamara Charlie. And as we mentioned there, they're coached by captain coach PJ Ellis. Well, Coxie, it's a must-win game for the Pickers. It's all or nothing come 80 minutes here this afternoon.
Yeah, semi-final football come early. They need to win this week. They probably need to win next week at Harker Oval as well. That's a daunting task, but game at a time. If they can't win today and they can't beat South, it's all to play for, do or die. South with a little bit to play for again, trying to stop a 2-game skid. They're they can avoid, they want to go into the semi-finals with some momentum, and they want to get a top 3 spot and guaranteed second chance. So I think we'll see some semi-final type football here today, and this rainfall that has got heavier and heavier as kickoff approaches will only add to that.
We all know that South, they don't like wet conditions. Has that brought Maitland Pickers into the contest even more? We're underway. Off the boot there of Chad Solomon. Sends it deep. And on the bring back now comes the charging Jerome Wilson. Out towards his own 20-metre line. Of course, he played for the Newcastle Rebels this year. Representative player. Played up there in Tamworth. Didn't quite get the money, the Rebels. Illawarra defeated them in the dying stages of the contest. As we see now, Souths, third on the premiership ladder. 9 wins, only 4 losses this season. Just a few points behind the competition leaders, the Western Suburbs Rosellas. Of course, the Rosellas aiming for their 3rd straight premiership this season. Good kick now, downfield it goes, as you can see on the monitor, angling towards Nick Howe. But the ball goes in the touch. Michael Cox 10 metres away from the Pickers goal line.
I think that's a 40-20, Peter. What a great start, great set for South Newcastle. Scott Briggs, such a talented footballer, just nailed that from inside his 40. And just mistake-free football. You mentioned they don't like the wet weather. Well, they just showed how it's done in these slippery, greasy conditions there. 1 out, and we'll see the tap now. South with a chance to hit early.
This is Ryan Lippiott. Higgins, of course, up from the Manly Sea Eagles in the New South Wales Cup for the Lions. Here this afternoon, as you see, Briggs takes him on and he'll roll over and score. No, he's lost a football, says Mr. Aylett, back out to the 20.
Dangerous signs early from Briggs. He kicked the 40-20 and then on first tackle. Far too easy. Split the line, held up. Great desperation defence there by Maitland, but some shaky signs early for them.
Well, they're here to play the football. We know that, and they have to. We're only 2 weeks away from the Newcastle Rugby League final series of 2014. Because last week, Macquarie defeated Souths by 26-24, while Maitland was stunned in the second half by a determined Central Newcastle Butcher Boys by 1 point. Victorious, the Butcher Boys last week against the Pickers, 23-22. Out at Central Charlestown. Rosberg is with the football, but Tom Aylett, our referee here this afternoon, has called this one up. Of course, the touch judges are Matt James and James Fleet as well.
High tackle there, Jerome Wilson. Penalty Maitland, and they needed that just to settle. They dodged a bullet early with Scott Briggs being held up, dispossessed, just before Maitland had even touched the ball, and now they get their own chance to hit back. First
time down inside the 20-metre line. This is Jaden Rosberg. Takes the tackle there of Wilson. CU. Sends it right. This is Peter Ratter. 5 metres away. 3rd minute of the match. CU. Shapes to go left, goes right. Turns it back on the inside and they're over. Nick Howe has scored the first try for the Pickers. Oh, Michael, that looks so easy.
It was too easy. We mentioned how easy it was for Scott Briggs to break the line at the other end. Well, first chance Maitland got, they broke right through. Terrence CU just allowed time and space out of dummy half close to the line, and Nick Howe, he hit the line at pace and just split them far too easily, went over virtually untouched.
And you've got to remember, first time inside the 20, and they've been able to strike first points. We mentioned at the top, Nick Howe, the son of the New Zealand international Tawara Nick Howe. We all remember Tawara, but gee whiz, hasn't his son got some electrifying pace?
Yeah, fearless run there and hole running. But I mean, if it's both sides, the standard of the goal line defence so far, we could see some points racked up today despite the slippery, tricky conditions.
3rd minute of the match. As we see it on the replay, Coxie, just walk us through it.
Well, Terrence CU.
Shakes to go left, goes right, turns it back on the inside and they're over. Nick Howe has scored the first try for the...
Too simple, far too simple. And CU, that sort of heady experience of first grade level and ball playing experience, just beautifully played inside ball. Well, that an easy conversion attempt. That could come back to bite them later on.
An unexpected miss from Chad Solomon. Got the late call up this morning. Of course, if you just tuned in, Billy Towers no longer in the Pickers squad, the 5'8". It's been good for them, Billy Towers, this season. But so far, the Pickers in the pouring rain, after 4.5 minutes, have the ball, and with it is Peter Ratter out towards his 20-metre line.
Yeah, let's see which team can settle into this contest best. And another penalty, Maitland, for the hold down. It's another chance to put themselves within striking distance of South's line.
Here's the kick for touch. Finding it 5 metres short of the halfway line here. With Peter Jolly and Michael Cox from the Maitland Sports Ground in the Newcastle Rugby League. The Tooheys Cup for season 2014. The CU. Maitland are going to come away with the competition points. Look for the likes of CU. He's back in his favourite position in hooker. It's been a bit of time this year at 5'8". In the last fortnight, PJ Ellis, the captain coach, has put him back into the role that he knows only too well. Speaking of Ellis, he's got the ball now, the captain coach. Down inside the 30-metre line, CU goes right. Up the middle through Peter Ratter, back to CU. He's been in everything, CU. Of course, 51 NRL games at top level. Back to Solomon, kicking, ricocheted, play on, and the Lions have the ball. 5 out from their own goal line. But gee whiz, the Pickers have been in everything so far after 6 minutes of this match.
And it's not like they've stretched South. They've just done it simply. They've just done it up the middle of the ruck, and South just haven't come up to meet them at the advantage line. Simple stuff, but effective from Maitland so far.
Well, the Lions averaging 24 points per match, conceded 16 points in defence. Let's see what they can do here. The rain, still a few showers hanging about. They'll need a good kick. This is inside the 40, the kick, but it's gone straight down to the try scorer in Nickau. Running back into the defensive line, and who was there to put him down? Bo Simpson, 35 out from his own goal line.
One of the things Maitland really have to work on today is kick pressure on Scott Briggs. He's already seen him nail a 40-20, another deep kick and kick chase there. They've got to get up and just make sure they hurry him. Don't give him the time to spot his target and get that ball downfield.
Other matches unfolding this weekend in the Tooheys Cup. Port Stephens are playing Lakes. Macquarie in second place, playing the first place, the Premier, defending Premiers, Western Suburbs. And Curry taking on Central. So the top 5 could well be decided, or close to being decided, come 80 minutes here today. As we see now, the fullback, Steve Witters, making a tremendous run out towards his own 40-metre line. 11 tries this year. He's kicked 9 goals. 2 tries last week against Macquarie. Got a good personal individual effort. Steve Witters, the fullback, picked up 62 points so far, up around 6th on the highest point scorer ladder in this season. So the second opportunity, they're going to come out wide. They may go over the sideline. They just pulled in from that touchline by a metre. They'll play the ball back now, looking to strike back into the match. This is Hurrell, beat one. Todd out towards the 20-metre line. Back it comes now to Briggs. Oh, they've diffused it well there, the Pickers. Coxie 13 metres out from their own goal line.
Yeah, great take there on the wing. Ryan Lacey from Maitland, their try-scoring machine. But still, again, allowing Scott Briggs a lot of time, thinking time there on last tackle. That's got to be rectified as this game goes on.
The referee has called it up here. Tom Aylett. Well, credit there to Souths. They went in numbers, in a 3-man tackle, and I think you'll find the Pickers here will get the football back, as the referee said he called hell before they lost it. So CU now wrapped up. Referee
play the ball, get back, we're going to pin it.
Saying, we're not going to go anywhere here, fellas. We're going to get it underway under my terms. Tom Aylett fired up.
And it should be. He's just trying to get a handle on this game. Tensions are high. A lot to play for here with both teams. And just a little bit edgy. Jerome Wilson keen to get out from marker before the ball was even played.
As we mentioned, a lot on the line here for the Maitland Pickers. A must-win game for them today. It's do or die for season 2014. An interesting stat, if the Pickers don't make the semi-finals this year, that'll be the second year in a row that they fail to make the Newcastle final series in the Tooheys Cup. As the Lions now back out towards the 40-metre line. They go over the 40-metre line. This is Lavali Eli. Widders sends it to the left-hand side, picking up Bo Simpson. Runs to Ryan Lacey. 4 metres inside. The Pickers half. Trailing by 4. The Lions. And Adam Bettrich's last season as coach. A little bit flat in the middle of the field. Runners not running onto it as you'd expect so far. This is Gordner down to the 30-metre line. Last tackle now for the Lions. Hurrell. They're going to spin it. Simpson. Ravali Eli's got support. Knocked down by the Pickers. Gee, they scrambled well, the Pickers, and they've come up with probably a try-saving move.
Yeah, a play that had to be made by Ryan Lacey there. You saw him defuse a bomb earlier from Scott Briggs, and he come up with a bat down there that may have saved them 4 points. But now Souths get a set to attack, and they look dangerous when they shift that ball, Peter. Rain just easing off a touch here at Maitland Sports Ground, but still a slight bit of drizzle around, and it's going to make handling conditions quite tricky. Dangerous position centre field here for this scrum. Let's see what they do.
Ball comes out. They send it to the left-hand side of the field. They're running onto it. They're coming back on the inside. They're dropped down about 8 metres away from the goal line. Where will it come now? It comes back through the middle of the field. They're going to go close here. They're 2 metres away from the goal line. South Lions on the attack. Referees called it up. He's lost the football. 2 out from the line. Well, just not so far. The Lions afternoon here at Maitland, but early days, only 12 minutes gone in the match.
Yeah, moral victory there for Maitland on their goal line defence. You heard the call there. Great D. That really lifted them. High fives all round for Maitland. Just to be able to absorb that little bit of pressure, force the turnover. Now they can settle back in and just complete their set and get that ball down the other end.
Hang on. Let's go,
Actually, Souths haven't won here at Maitland since April 2006. A long time between victories.
7-7, square up.
Nick Howe goes for a dart from dummy half. Runs it out to the 30-metre line before Jerome Wilson's there to pounce on him. See you. As we said, been a good buy from Pickers since he came across from the Cessnock Goannas last season. 10 appearances for Manly, 10 appearances for the Knights, 32 when he was down in the Cronulla Shire. Made his debut back in red and blue colours for Newcastle against the Bulldogs back in 2007. Scored a try that day on debut as well, you might recall. And 4 games for Samoa. Well, he's not afraid to blow the whistle here today, the Tommy Aylett. Sometimes he just lets it flow, but not the case so far after 13 minutes.
Yeah, the 3 early penalties against South for indiscretions that they probably could have done without. Holding down that one, just a little bit of ill-discipline. Had to be pinged for being offside, and a high tackle earlier. They really need to work on that as the game goes on.
Jalen Rosberg.
10, stand, hold square, hold 9.
38 metres away. See you. Back to Metcalf. Beat one. Solid run. Down towards the 20-metre line. Goes the prop. Now, 26-year-old CU. Sent it back to Peter Ratter. Try last week against Central. CU goes right. Picks up Clydesdale. And the halfback's on his back. Metcalf. Lippiatt wraps him up.
playing on his end.
Last
Let him
tackle.
stand up, play
The
ball.
Pickers
Let him play the
leading
ball.
by 4
Go.
points to nil. Look for the crossfield kick. Here it comes. Lacey's chasing the ball, but the ball's gone dead. Back out to the 20 for a tap restart to the third place. South Newcastle Lions, who last won a premiership back in 1989, the year of the Newcastle earthquake.
It's becoming some sort of drought for South. And whether they've got the chance to win this year, well, this is the sort of game they need to win. And if they need to win it, they need to play semi-final type football. And
Surrender one.
on that count, despite the poor end of that last set by Maitland, I think Maitland have come here with the mindset of playing semi-final type football. Their goal line defence has been good. Their discipline's been good so far, and they're certainly winning the battle in the middle.
Clear the rock, movement.
This is Liam Richards in jersey 17. Inside the 40. Ball skidding along the greasy surface. Ryan Lacey, the winger, has got Nick Howe.
Good
But
tackle.
Alexa go himself and
Stand
finished
on.
off there by
Hold,
Vivali
hold,
Eli.
hold, go.
10 metres away, the Pickers.
South
This is the
discipline.
try
Work
scorer
with the
in
block.
Dow Nick Howe.
2, movement.
Outside his 10 metre line.
It's fine.
The 4 is with it, Elliot Jennings. Losing the ball. Play on. So this is the time that South Newcastle have to press the reset button and come up with something special here. Coxie, 10 out from the Pickers goal line.
They've been in this situation numerous times already in this match. Let's see what they can do.
Vivali Eli takes the line on.
1, clear the rock.
Roberts puts him down.
Hold.
Higgins through the left-hand side of the field. This is Briggs showing it, losing it forward. Did it go backwards?
Never.
No, it didn't. Well, just those little mistakes coming back to bite them on the backside.
I don't think they're earning the right to play the sort of football they want to play just yet, Peter. They look dangerous when they shift the ball. But where's the platform? Where's the forwards just punching a few forward and just laying the platform for Briggs to weave his magic? They want to go for the quick shifts. In contrast, Maitland, they're the ones in front on the scoreboard. They probably haven't had as many opportunities thus far, but they're the ones in front.
Take the touches, locked in, walk in. Go.
South Newcastle looking out of sorts after 20 minutes, and we know that Adam Bettridge mentioned before the telecast to us they don't necessarily like the greasy, wet conditions. Well, they've just got to put up with it because it's going to be like this for the next 60 minutes of the match.
Well, they're just going to have to tuck the ball under their arm and play some risk-free football on early tackles. Get in and punch some holes close to the ruck, win that battle, put these big forwards on their back, and it's guys like this, Dan Metcalf, they're really laying a platform for Maitland.
Out to the 30-metre line they come, the Pickers. Sixth competition place. CU. Kicking inside the 40. Heading downfield, the ball may go or sit up. It does the second mention, and Witters brings it back. Elects to give it away to his fullback, who's been picked up and dumped there by the captain coach in PJ Ellis. Hywell.
Absolutely nothing fancy about what Maitland are doing so far. And they give away a penalty just when you give them a rap. A little bit of ill discipline from Maitland. Over enthusiasm in the ruck, trying to slow that play the ball down after a strong dummy half run.
They're going to kick towards the commentary side. And they find the line, as you can see there on the TV screen, 40 metres away from the goal line. Vivali Eli now goes out towards the halfway line here at the Maitland Sports Ground. You're with Michael Cox and Peter Jolly. The referee has said go back and play it, where I call held on the mark. And that's exactly what they do. Over the halfway line they come. This is Liam Richards. 5 metres inside the Pickers half. Down by 4 points to nil. The Lions. Quarter of the match gone. Quarter to go. 20 down, 20 remain. This is Strickleton offloading to Vivali Eli. 5 in from that western touchline. Higgins. Back to Noel Tupu. 20 metres away, quick play the ball, that's what they've got. Little kick in towards the in-goal area. Where's the chasers from the Lions? Nick Howe, he's got to get back into the field of play. He's not. Good kick chase, goal line dropout, more pressure coming up this time for the Pickers.
That's better from South. some proper semi-final football. Repeat set. They didn't get the points, but they get another crack at them. They sap some energy, and they can settle into the groove. This is going to be a grind.
Macquarie leading Western Suburbs Rosellas by 12 points to 0. So the defending premiers are in all sorts of trouble in season 2014. Lost 3 of their last 4, and they're trailing Macquarie, who's in second place on the competition, on home soil out there at Macquarie by 12-0, and Royce Jeffrey has just got in the score. We'll give you score updates throughout the afternoon here on Bar TV. This is Liam Richards.
2, release, marker up. Here, hold. Shane, come on.
Tupu finds the shoulder there of Metcalf and Robards. Looking to get their way back into this contest. South Newcastle. Well, Higgins. Briggs. Numbers. Can they offload? They need to offload. The ball's on the ground. Tapped ahead. It's play on. Razzle dazzle. Here's the kick. It's knocked off a Picker's foot into the possession of Winners. He'll score. Oh, that's a try. That's a freaky try. Aylett awards it. They're back in the match. 4-4. Kick to come.
Sustained pressure, South, and they finally get the breakthrough. Looked lucky, but it was the second set they had on their line. Scott Briggs, deflected kick, scooped upon by Steve Witters. 12th try of the season for him. Opportunity strikes, but great play to be in the right spot, right time, backing up. Well played, South.
And he's picked up his 12th try of 2014. Steve Witters. Play on. Razzle dazzle. Here's the kick. It's knocked off a Picker's foot into the possession of Winners. He'll score.
He put his
that's a try. That's a freaky try. Aylett awards it. They're back in the match. 4-4. Kick to come. And he's picked up his first try of the afternoon today. Picked up 2 tries last week. Witters against Macquarie. And now the chance for this man on screen, Scott Briggs, to convert the try to put the Lions up by 2.
You got to feel for a front rower like Dan Metcalf there. Faced with Scott Briggs, late in the tackle count. He's doing his best. Scott Briggs puts the kick down. He's probably better served not sticking a boot out at it at that point, but you can't blame the big fella. He's trying his heart out there, and it's just led to a South Newcastle try.
It's easy from the commentary box, isn't it, Coxie? But when everything happens at 110 kilometres an hour.
Well, he's been one of their best so far, Dan Metcalf. A long stint for a big front rower like that. 20 minutes so far. Numerous hit-ups. Great metres.
Yep.
But Scott Briggs runs right at him there and finds a tied front rower who makes a mental error, and South are in. 6-4 South.
In reserve grade throughout the afternoon in the Newcastle Rugby League. Victories to Souths over Maitland by 36 points to 10. Wests too good for Macquarie, 30-14. Well, Central defeated the Bulldogs up at the Curry Sports Ground by 42-28. It's the third tackle, as you can see, as they approach the 40-metre line. This is Todd Hurrell. Of course, he's going to be the captain coach of this side come season 2015. Here's the kick outside the 40. Heading towards the touch line, and the ball goes into touch. 10 metres out from the Pickers line. Yeah, just speaking there, Coxie, of Todd Hurrell, going to be the captain coach next season. And we were speaking to PJ Ellis in the last few weeks, and he said captain and coaching, well, it goes without saying, but it's not as easy as people think.
A real conflict there to be able to manage all of the stresses that come with leading a first grade rugby league in a competition that's become increasingly professional over the years. These guys have all got, a lot of them have got NRL club experience. They're coming back, and he's expected to go out there and be a forward and be an 80-minute player and a leader on the field as well as a leader off the field. A tough ask. Of course, Noel Dent will return next year as Maitland Pickers coach, premiership winning coach, and a return to a more community-based field is the message coming from Noel Dent, who's currently the under-18s coach here at Maitland.
Yeah, he's led the media around the circus merry-go-round in the last 8 months about whether he'll return to the Maitland Pickers next year, but that has been confirmed in the last fortnight. So that'll be good to get him back here and get back into that community feel. That's not to say that PJ Ellis hasn't done that. He's done a tremendous job, PJ Ellis. As you can see, they're only, just on the verge of the top 5 again this season, and they've pretty much lost the 50-50s match this year, the Pickers.
And look how far they've come from being in the wilderness only 5 years ago and not even having a team, which is an absolute tragedy, to now contending for a top 5 spot, having won a premiership or 2. I think Maitland are in a great position and a chance to reconsolidate with a good junior base. That under-18s team is doing very well up near the top of the table. I think the future is bright for Maitland.
Hold square, hold.
As we said, it's a must-win game, though, this year for them in this contest anyway. A lot of people are saying if they can't come up with the 2 points today, they're gone for this season. So there's a lot of pressure now on the western suburbs. Rosella's in this competition as well. Down by 12-odd points out there at Macquarie. Lost their coach. He's heading up the expressway to Cessnock next year. As we see now, play not going quite the way the Lions expected it to go. Just caught up with the news. I didn't know you just flown back in from Hong Kong, Michael, but Barney Miller, he's led the side to 2 premierships in the last consecutive years. He's hoping for a 3rd one this year, but he's announced throughout the week that he's heading up to be the head coach at the Cessnock Goannas next year, and he might be taking a few players with him. And the Western Suburbs Rosellas, what is going on with them? They've lost 3 of their last 4 weeks out, 2 weeks out from the semi-final series.
Something that can happen with a team that's a perennial contender, perhaps, but perhaps the on switch hasn't been flicked on in the lead up to the semi-finals, and they're waiting for those big games to roll around. But we see it time and time again over the years when a team laden with stars and that's destined to be in those big games, you can't just flick the on switch a week out from the semi-finals. They need to build some momentum, and it'd be worrying signs if they're defeated today.
Yeah, big tackle there, led there by Rodemar. As we mentioned, West have lost 3 from their last 4, so it'll be 4 from 5 if they can't come away with the goods out there at Macquarie today.
Good 10.
Here's the kick now off the boot there of Clydesdale. Cut off there by Witters. The try scorer at the back for the Lions.
And should mention as well, thanks to Bar TV, we can watch the real NRL at Shartin races on a Sunday afternoon, Peter.
Are you saying that you're being paid the big bucks and you're watching the real NRL? How about that, Michael Cox? Multi-skilled, hey? Bit of both?
I've asked for him to put it on the Diamond Vision field on the infield there, the Diamond Vision screen on the infield at Shartin Racecourse. They haven't agreed to that as yet.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll get you up there one day.
A metre. Here, you're in front 16.
Inside the 40. Down it goes. Dribbling back towards the 10-metre line. This is Ryan Lacey, 11 tries this season. A personal tally of 44 points to the Pickers winger.
How about that tackle from Todd Harrell? Rattled the fullback on the kick return, and he's going to, or the winger rather, than Lacey on the kick return. He's going to gingerly come back into position, maybe think twice about picking his target on the kick return next time.
This is Jalen Rosberg. Cleaned up by Richards. See you. This is the captain coach. And PJ Ellis on the 4th tackle. Back to CU, shooting from dummy half. Looks right. Another good tackle there from the 9 in Liam Higgins, as we mentioned, 2-time player of the year for the Sea Eagles in the New South Wales Cup last year. Here's the kick going towards the touch line. They may have to play at it. They foul the ball. The referee here has got a call from the touchy. Lucky he put the touch judge flag up because there could have been something special unfolding.
Yeah, nervous moments there for South as that kick dribbled dangerously near the touchline. They're going to end up with the ball. All's well that ends well for South, but nice kick. And the kicking game is really coming into its own in these slippery conditions. The rain just still persists, but it's left the ground and very slippery. A lot of the players are holding their footing, but it's the kicking game of Scott Briggs for South has been tremendous so far. He's just biting off so many metres at the end of a set. The kick pressure probably isn't there for Maitland. They're doing a lot of things well. Pressuring his kicks isn't one of them. And even though South's forwards probably not making the same amount of metres up the middle as Maitland, the end of the set has been tremendous from Briggs.
Both sides last met on the 1st of June 2014, earlier this year. South's 28, over the Pickers 14 at Townsend Oval, and that was the feature game on Bar TV that afternoon. Maitland led at half-time, but Souths clawed their way back in the second half. A dominant last 40 for the Lions. But as we keep on mentioning, not a good record here at the Maitland Sports Ground. Souths haven't won a match here at Maitland since April 2006.
Better kick pressure from Maitland. Souths, Maitland are winning the battle in the middle. Souths are struggling to get outside their 40 when they start deep in their own territory. That time Briggs didn't have the time and space to kick downfield. And you see Maitland take it on their 40 and get a better territorial start to their set and already come up to South's 40.
Hold. Go.
See you. Sends it back to the Lacey wing. Can Lacey get the ball? No. The fullback position, well, Witters. He takes the tackle there of Tamar Charlie, who's in jersey 19 for the Pickers. Out towards their 30-metre line now.
Puzzling last play option there from Terrence CUC. Crossfield kick. Looked like Lacey knew what was on, but wasn't at the end of the set. I think they would be better served taking a leaf out of the South playbook and sustaining some pressure as they did last time they were in Maitland's. Near Maitland's try line, a repeat set. Repeat sets are as valuable in these conditions as a try almost.
Michael Cox there, racing expert for, I won't have an inch of getting you the name right, but the racing organisation over in Hong Kong that you're working for, mate, everything's going well?
Yeah, it's great. South China Morning Post. We're in the racing off-season at the moment. The Souths go on the attack. A long off-season. Start again on September 14 and enjoying a little bit of real NRL on
back in Newcastle, where it all started for Michael Cox. Back in the early days. Well, we might just quickly go through that. Anybody that wants to be a racing expert, get in touch with Michael Cox. He'll tell you how it's done. Michael, an inspirational story for many young broadcasters out there, mate. You started off with the community radio, got a gig with the Mercury, and then it all started from there pretty much, didn't it?
Port Stephens FM commentating on this very competition.
Michael Caine.
2006. Silas Moss, who's now a broadcaster on ABC Radio. Got a great break with him on a Saturday morning breakfast show with Port Stephens FM. Then along the way, a lot of people have been very helpful. To me, Brett Keeble from the Newcastle Herald, who we're streaming through their website today, I think. Helped me get a start with Australian Associated Press, then the Illawarra Mercury, and then Hong Kong came calling. But there is nothing like real NRL rugby league, Peter, and I'm happy to be here calling the football.
Stand up, South, work back. Hold.
See you. Solomon turns it back on the inside.
Clear the rock.
It's a nice 10. 15 metres short of the 20. Great positioning.
Briggs movement. Hold.
The Pickers know where to put obstructions. Here's the kick in towards the end goal area. Will they get it back? They've lost the ball. Play on. Oh, they've put it down. Oh, unfortunately there, Ryan Lacey just couldn't quite pick it up.
Ryan Lacey's just let a golden opportunity slip through his fingertips, literally. Tricky kick from CUC. That's in these sort of conditions, that's a nightmare take for a winger to be isolated like that. And CUC just picked him out, looked open side, went blind side, just kicked a grubber kick right at him, lost his footing. And it looked like a try for certain for Lacey, but he's dropped it over the line.
It's a tight match.
That could come back to haunt them.
7 minutes out from the half-time whistle. A good thing, though, for the Pickers. They have got the feed. And they're feeding it through Chad Solomon.
Hang on. Get your
Of course, Billy Towers out with the flu. Is the rumour circulating around here. So they're on the attack. Oh, knocked down there. Oh, he'll have a bruise, that little ball boy.
I think ball boys have been in the news the last 2 nights. We saw one at Maitland. One at Parramatta last night in the Parramatta Bulldogs game. Sorry, at the I think it was at the stadium.
Yeah, Stadium Australia.
Come under focus for not knowing his rules, being put under pressure by a player on the field, and maybe changing the outcome of that match. And that ball boy then copped the brunt of a stray kick.
He'll be feeling that. This is Rada! Close! Lost the football.
Great goal on defence, South.
See, he was close, wasn't he there, Peter Rada? You don't want to be stopping him. Good to try last week. The big number 8, the prop Peter Rada, in their loss to Central as the rain continues to come from the skies above as Aylett now gives away a penalty to the Lions.
Too much back chat from Maitland. That is the sort of error that, well, you will really cost you in a game like this. You just got to back off, take a breather. You've got them playing the ball 3 metres out from their own line with 6 minutes to go in the half. Get in, dig in, and make it a big defensive step. Instead, South get a little leg up, and they'll probably end this set inside Maitland territory.
Hold the line. Hold.
This is Hurrell. Higgins.
7, a bigger 10, come on.
Briggs. Solomon, his opposite number combined to wrap him up along there with Rosberg. Scooting from dummy half, this is where they're dangerous, and this is why. Support on the right, back to Strickleton, and he flies away to score a try. An important try for South just moments before half-time. 10-4 kick to come.
Well, after absorbing all that pressure from Maitland let 2 golden opportunities slip through their fingers. They give away the penalty, and right off the back of that, Liam Higgins just waited. He hasn't ran that much, but he spotted the opportunity, burst out a dummy half, and he sets up the try that could prove pivotal in this big match.
And this is it on the replay. Here he went. Support on his right, went down to the fullback, offloaded, and who was there? Jason Strickleton. And credit to Liam Higgins. We know where he's come from in the past. Of course, he was the Manly New South Wales Cup hooker. Got his chance here at the South Newcastle Lions. He's no dummy, he's no slouch. 2-time Player of the Year for the Sea Eagles in the New South Wales Cup as well. And speaking of the New South Wales Cup, the Knights take on the New Zealand Warriors at number 2 Sports Ground as we speak. Here's the kick now from right in front. Scott Briggs. Can he have the extras? Taking his time. Moves in. Hits it. It's coming back around. It's converted. So an 8-point margin separates Souths and Maitland. It's 12-4 with 3.5 minutes remaining in the first 40.
How often do we see it? The period just before halftime, just after halftime. Maitland should be going into the sheds in front. Instead, they're going in 8 points down. Little bit of ill discipline, poor finishing, and they've probably had the better of it in terms of the physical aspect of it. Their big forwards got over the top of South at times and made the ground they needed, but it's been the kicking game of Briggs and the finishing, and just that a little bit of brilliance around some tired defenders around the ruck, and South find themselves in front. They may not really deserve to be.
Ball goes forward, kicked ahead. Referee Aylett calling this one back.
Come back.
We just clicked on to the Newcastle Herald website or the other prominent Fairfax publication websites throughout the country. I know the Maitland Mercury is taking this match live. We welcome them to the Bar TV telecast of the Newcastle Rugby League in season 2014.
Isn't that what you want to see from your captain? PJ Ellis just nailing Todd Harrell and forcing the turnover. And Maitland, this is a big set. Couple of minutes to half-time. They shouldn't find themselves down 8. They are. They desperately need to come away with points here.
It's all nothing in this set of 6. And they can extend that to the entire match if they can't win here. A lot of saying it's goodbye 2014. That's tackle number 2.
Hold square. Hold, go.
Rudder. Briggs downstairs along with Ben Tupu. Struggle to bring the big prop down. CUCU. Elusive. Numbers to the right-hand side of the field.
He held.
One more tackle coming up after this one. Killen to the goal line. Last tackle now. Where will it go? Will we be kicking to the winger? That's exactly what it's intended for. Lacey's come down with it. He needs to offload. It's play on. And Rosberg. Well, he couldn't offload. Change over back to the Lions.
Desperation from Maitland, but it matched and then some by some great goal line defence from South. This is tremendous football. It's been a great half of football here, despite the tricky conditions.
Semi-final atmosphere here at the Maitland Sports Ground. Not a decent crowd in here as well, supporting and chanting on their must-win Pickers.
Hold, play it, Scotty.
And it's Old Boys Day here at the Maitland Sports Ground as well. Now to Witters. 10 seconds remaining before half-time.
2, stand up, Marcus. Hold square, hold the line. Go.
Maitland got away to the perfect start. Try in the 4th minute to their fullback in Nickau.
Inside.
The credit to South Newcastle Lions. They've just been clawing their way back into the contest. And now they force the ball in goal. The fullback, of course, Nickau. So just looking across. 1 second to go. You'll hear the siren any second. That's half time. So Souths go to the break over the Maitland Pickers by 12 points to 4. If you just tuned to the telecast, Maitland were able to score the first try. Michael Cox through their fullback in the 4th minute of the play. Nickau, but a dominating performance by the Lions in the back end of the first 40.
Oh, they've taken their opportunities. I think Maitland have had their chances. They've probably had the better of it on the ground. I think the big difference has been Scott Briggs' kicking game. He's put them deep into Maitland territory. He's earned them a repeat set when they needed it, and it was from a kick that their first try came from. So Maitland, they scored through Nickau in the 3rd minute. Solomon with the missed conversion. That put them up 4-0. And then a Witters try for Souths in the 22nd minute, converted by Scott Briggs, made it 6-4 South. And from then in the second part of the first half, South maybe had the better of it. They looked dangerous, and it was a Liam Higgins split the defence from dummy half in the 36th minute and set up a Strickleton try. Converted by Briggs. 12-4 South, and what do you think will be said in the sheds at half time?
Oh, South, they've just got to go on with it. You know, if they're going to be the real deal this season, they just can't afford to switch off. But Maitland Pickers, if you're the PJ Ellis, well, you know, it's do or die. It's all down to this next 40 minutes. If they win, they progress to next week and possibly into the final series if they can then beat Western Suburbs. If they lose today, it's Hello 2015. Well, Michael Cox is in the commentary box all the way from Hong Kong. We thank him for his time coming up to the Maitland Sports Ground. And throughout the week, Bar TV headed over to Townsend Oval, and we'll play you this. It's a fascinating insight behind the scenes at the club, the South Newcastle Lions. Enjoy. Here we are at Townsend Oval. It's a historic oval for a historic club. Mate, the history goes way back.
Yes, 1910 was the first year that South came into the competition, a foundation club of the Rugby League, along with 3 other sides. So yeah, proud history here amongst the club, mate.
And mate, over those years you've picked up a few premierships as well.
A few premierships, 12 first grade premierships. Our last couple were in 1988 and 1989, back to back, but we've had a little bit of a dry stint since. So we're hoping for this year to be something different for us.
And how did Souths all come about?
Oh, South was just came about by a group of men that thought to get together and put a local team together. So rugby union was the strongest thing then, so they converted from over there, and they initially entered into a competition in the Sydney competition, but then came back the year after and started up here with those other 3 clubs, and yeah, and away they went from then. So they really started with no leagues club, but worked out at a local hotel just down here on the corner. So.
I understand the first game, I guess, wasn't necessarily here in Merriweather. It was a few suburbs across.
Yeah, apparently it was down in Hamilton somewhere over Tudor Street. There was a ground, a paddock or something like that, where they played, I think it was West, and they beat them in the first ever game. So it was just turn up and be part of that. Yeah, so that's where it all started.
We spoke about premierships briefly a moment ago. The last premiership was
88 and 89.
89.
Yeah.
You were a part of that.
Yes, very much so. Yes, yeah.
Memories of that?
Oh, great memories. You know, it was a time where we had a strong club. You know, led by Richard Jones, coached by Paul Merlo, both ex-Sydney players, but both South juniors. And we had a great group of blokes right through the grades. It was a really cultured club, and it was the friendship and the camaraderie that made us get to those grand finals and to win them. So, and they're lifelong friends now, so that's a great time.
And that's the thing about rugby league, you know, it brings the community together and also brings the players together for life.
Oh, very much so, very much so. Even the support staff and the committee and everything from those times, they're still down here, get together and everything. So, yeah, very much so. It's lifelong friends.
What does South mean to the Merewether community?
Well, yes. Well, it gives them rugby league. Like you said, they've been here a long time. The local community does know that every Sunday or every second Sunday, South are playing down here. We've got our Lees club just up the road, South Merewether, which has been in the area since the 1960s. So, with the football club and the Lees club, they provide the community with places to meet and to greet.
A few memorable moments here at Townsend Oval come to mind?
Oh wow, Townsend. Growing up as a kid, you know, like I'm secretary here now and bloody ground manager, pardon the pun, but jumping the fence over there in the corner to get in to watch first grade play back in the 70s with, you know, Peter Howlett and Terry Clawson, the Pommy that came out, and the big clashes. There was never any grass on this paddock. It used to be a bit of a dirt bowl. It was hard tussles. So, yeah, 70s and 80s and that were great memories, yes.
I guess over the years, this ground's always had a reputation that the ball really does bounce. Has that always been the case?
Oh, very much, you know, because we share the ground with Merewether Carlton, but also Merewether Cricket. And the council love to cut that grass very short during the summer. So it does make for a tough ground, and the ball does bounce a fair bit, mate. Yes, most definitely.
Mate, over the years as well, you've had some good coaches, but right now you've got Adam Bettridge.
Mm-hmm.
What has he brought to the club?
Oh, listen, when I got involved about 5 years ago, always been in the backgrounds, but got involved, and we really wanted to make some changes to make us competitive. And Adam was a lower grade coach then, so we just listened to him for a while in the sheds and that, and so thought we had a real good coach here, or that could really help us develop the club. So over the last 4 years, 2 years have been assistant coach, 2 years have been head coach now. So. And he's really helped us build that culture and everything we want, but he just adds that professionalism, and he really knows the game really well. So, yeah, all good.
So guys, it's Sleepy's Day. How did that all come about, and what's it all about?
Alrighty, Peter Sleep was one of our legends of the South Football Club. He was a member of our 1988 and 1989 grand final side. About 6 years ago, he was diagnosed with severe throat cancer. So the South community and his past players and that got together and to help him out with renovations on his house, and we had a big sportsman's luncheon where manager of the Cowboys, Peter Park, came on board and brought a few of the Cowboys down, Jonathan Thurston, and we had a sportsman's lunch where we raised money for Pete. So that helped him out in that regard, and then he recovered from his cancer. And what Pete wanted to do then was to give back to the people that helped him. So that's where he decided that he wanted to have a special day every year, and we called it Sleepy's Day. It's a day where the football community, companies and people of the South community come together, and we raise funds for the Lions, but also people who have been affected by cancer.
Well, here we are at Townsend Oval. It's a historic oval for a historic club, mate. The history goes way back. South coach Adam Bettridge, how you going, Adam?
Yeah, good, mate. Good. It's pretty cold here tonight, but rolling into the semis. The boys obviously keen down there training, so yeah, it's good to be here.
Mate, of course, I mean, let's reflect back on the season so far. What have you got out of it as a coach this year?
Yeah, it's been an up and down year for me. It's been obviously a tough one. Obviously, I announced earlier in the year that I would be leaving the club, and just for peace of mind of the players, and obviously so they knew what direction the club was heading in. So they've been really well received with that news since they got it, and they've put it in for me, and Yeah, it's been a tough year. It's the hardest this comp's ever been. The consistency of the teams week in, week out is much better than when I first started. And you've got to be up on your game, otherwise, you know, you could see this year we've been beaten by Central and Lakes when they weren't in the 5, obviously, and all the teams have given us a good game. So, yeah, it's been a tough one.
So, Adam, take us through the life of a coach here at South. So, where does your preparation begin and on what day?
Mate, normally I love me footy, and you know, people that know me know how much I love footy, and we'll play Sunday. I'll go home Sunday night and have a look at the tape. Obviously not in too much detail. I'll have another look Monday, and I'll be on the phone to the stats man and see what he's got for me, and obviously my assistant, and we'll pick teams Monday. Tuesday we'll do some training, or if we're not training we'll do a recovery session, and then Thursday we're training again, and then obviously game day is a big day for me. I'm here nice and early, and I think it's what you put in you get back with it, and you know, the more you put in the more you get back, but that's part and parcel of doing the job these days. It's a semi-professional competition, and if you want your players to be that way, you've got to be that way. So I don't see that anything extraordinary. I just think that's, you know, part of being a first grade coach.
Mate, you said at the beginning of the season that, you know, when you did decide to move on, you wanted to leave the club in a better position. Fair to say you have?
Yeah, I think so, mate. Yeah, I'm really happy with the position the club's in. I started here 5 years ago at a club where semi-finals were an unknown. Obviously, it's not just me.
And back here, hope you enjoyed that behind-the-scenes chat with Adam Bettridge, the coach of the South Newcastle Lions. We'd like to thank everybody for their cooperation. Down at Townsend Oval in Merriweather for allowing Bar TV to go behind the scenes throughout the week and telling you, the viewer, the story of the proud South Newcastle Lions side. Well, they're up by 12 points to 4 here on Bar TV. 2 rounds out from the NRL final series in 2014. And you haven't missed any of the action as we see the Maitland Pickers on the bring back through Peter Ratter.
He's been tremendous, Ratter, just making a massive amount of metres up the middle. What we need from Maitland in this half is better end of their sets, just a touch of quality. I think their last play options have been poor. Let's see what they come up with here.
PJ in front.
Testing kick. Oh, he's diffused it well there, Steve Witters. Never ended up taking his eye off the football.
I'm not sure if going to the air is the right way to go in these conditions. We saw them nearly get a result late in the first half when they put it along the ground in the slippery conditions. Make them pick it up and play with it. Punch it into the corners along the ground. There's not a winger or a fullback in these sort of conditions that wants to play like that. So I thought a little unimaginative there from the Pickers on the last play. And they need to come up with something more than that.
Thoughts there from Michael Cox, proud Novocastrian. No stranger to the commentary box as well. A few seasons down with the Penrith Panthers, with Hawkesbury Radio. Of course, Michael and myself back in 2007. The first time broadcasting a Newcastle Knights match back to the proud Riverina area down there and throughout the Katoomba region on Hawkesbury Radio. That was a memorable day, broadcasting the Knights and the Panthers at Energy Australia Stadium back in 2007.
It was a pretty miserable result for Knights fans. A very dark day for the Knights. Had 40 put on them from the Penrith Panthers, and not a great result for the home team that day, but a memorable experience nevertheless, in the privileged position of being able to be a sideline commentator at an NRL match. It's quite an experience. Best seat in the house.
Oh, it was fantastic. Back in the day, the old stadium, you know, you had to walk over the drawbridge to get into the commentary box. The ground's come a long way since then. As we see now, the Pickers spinning it around at every opportunity they've got. This is Solman. That looked a little bit flat. Too flat. Called up, forward pass.
I think Maitland really missing Billy Towers, who's out with the flu today at 5'8". Their direction, their finishing at the end of a set.
Organisational
skills. I mean, as with a late withdrawal of a guy like that who is creative, who does get his hands on the ball a lot, of course they're going to miss him, but it's really manifested in the way that they just can't finish a set or seem to put him to the sword. They've probably had as many, if not more, opportunities in the opposition half as South, yet South, with the play of Briggs, Higgins, that's been the difference. When they've had their opportunity, they've taken them, or they've got a repeat set.
Vivali Eli takes them on. He says to the defensive line, who's going to come and get me? Higgins. Back to Rodemar. They're upended, just short of the 30-metre line. Higgins again, a workhorse. Picked up a lot of metres. I'd love to see the stats of the hooker in Liam Higgins. Ball's gone back. Did well there, Schneider. Put away there by Randall. 31 metres out. Last tackle. Will they go high? Will they run it? Will they dribble it along the ground? Hurrell, he takes the line on. Flicks it out the back. Higgins, support. Rodemar, fumbling it. Back to the Pickers, and Nickow can't clean up. No advantage, though, may be the ruling.
Ryan Lippiatt just showing how tough it is to handle the ball in these wet, slippery conditions. South, they've done the hard things right. It looks like they've made an effort to get back to the simple things, and I think that's what'll win it. Just who's got the patience to just play up the middle and the more committed effort. That time they went a couple of passes wide of the ruck. They looked good doing it, just as they did early in the game, but they came up with the error.
Locks in. Two hands, go.
36 minutes remaining in the match. 8-point ball game here on Bar TV. This is Jaden Rosberg.
Clear the ruck, stop movement.
It's all or nothing. Have they got the ticker to get back into the match? Well, the spectators around us here in the commentary box at half-time were saying just what Michael Cox was mentioning there. It's too flat. 2 weeks out from the semi-finals for a sixth-place side. They need to change a few things, and they've only got 35 minutes to do it. Towards the halfway line they come. The lights are on here at the Maitland Sports Ground. A CU. Sends it back to Peter Ratter. That's the run. That's the inspirational sort of tactic they need. Just big charges from their big boppers.
It hasn't been through lack of effort that Maitland find themselves behind in this match, and certainly not through their big forwards. Who just Peter Ratter has been tremendous, charging up the middle. It's just lack of Billy Towers. They need, with Towers out, they need PJ Ellis and Terrence CU to really show their experience and direction for this side and come up with that touch of quality that can get them across the line.
Freeze! PJ, stand!
Higgins, Witters. Over the halfway line. Ball's on the ground. Ball was touched. Tackle count restarted, as you can hear there in the background from our referee and Tom Aylett. This is Jerome Wilson. Hard to put him down. Metcalf was in there along with Rosberg. Rodemar. This is Hurrell. CU combining to take the captain coach of 2015 into the ground. Continuing their raid towards the eastern side of the field. Vivali Eli, he's gone without it. Picked up now by the Pickers, and they are away. Chasing them is Witters. Oh, what a run there, and what a run in defence as well there by the Lions. Here they come, 40 metres out from the goal line. That might wake them up. Back in the middle of the field they come.
Two, stand, Todd.
Could that be a turning point? One-on-one strip, what a play. Maitland now on the attack.
Nickow. 3 men finally put him down, losing the ball. That was played at. It was raked. Referee has seen it. So penalty going the way of the Pickers here. So a few little things are going their way here, Coxie. And they're going to have the decision whether to bang it into touch or just take the tap and keep the momentum going. And they take the momentum going through their captain coach in PJ Ellis.
Nice centre. Nice move.
12 metres away from the goal line. Terrence CU away to Clydesdale. He finds Carter. Put down there by Lippiatt.
Stand up.
Trailing by 8. Lions on their goal line as the attack now comes out wide. They're going to go in to touch the football. Just couldn't quite put it through their back line. Unfortunate there from the Pickers.
Wrong play again. When we see someone get back to a simple grubber kick through the legs into the in goal, trap them there, get a repeat set, continue to play and apply some pressure, then we'll see someone get away with this game.
Just tuned to the coverage and haven't caught up with the news circulating around. The Maitland region 2010 Premiership winning coach Noel Dent back next year for a few seasons, starting in season 2015.
Run, Dan, clear the rock on the line.
As we see now, the
DJ,
Lions
DJ, come on.
doing enough so far.
2.
With the Pickers, you just have a bit of a sense that if a few things do fall their way, they are capable of getting back into the match, and we know that from previous games. But is it their day today? That question will be answered in another 30 minutes from now. But the key thing is they've got to stop the south side from putting any more points on the scoreboard. I know that's a simple thing. Williams is on the ground, and also Carter. Touch judges in. We might have a look at the Bar TV replay here. I think you'll find it might be Jerome Wilson that could be in a little bit of strife here, the number 10 from the Lions.
He's pretty hard to miss, Jerome Wilson, and he might not have missed Tyler Carter there when he lashed out before playing the ball. It's hard to imagine that the referee didn't see that. He's a pretty big boy. He had the ball at the time, but the touch judge has brought it upon himself to come in and report what's happened.
Well, just keep an eye, not on the tackle, well, maybe a little bit of a lift, but this is the incident that I ended up seeing with the naked eye when he gets up and plays the ball there. I think that's why the touch judge is in, Coxie.
Oh, absolutely. He's lashed out. He's made contact with the face. It's not with a closed fist. He's pushed him to the ground. I'd say they might want to look at it. Obviously, this is going to be a penalty while in possession.
And Solomon will have the opportunity to bang this into touch. Here's the whistle. They're going to kick towards the tent, the commentary side of the ground, as Thomas Tumu looks to go back on for the Pickers. As they take the tap on the halfway line. Short pass now to Metcalf.
Clear the rock off him.
Gordner's wrapped him up.
Hold square.
See you now. Centre back to the left-hand side of the field. This is Ellis, the captain coach. Takes a tackle there of Wilson, who gave away the penalty to where they are now with the football. The Pickers down inside the 30-metre line.
Clear the rock. All the way,
30 minutes to go in the match. Back to the 15 in Pat Robards. Barging his way down to the 10.
Work back, South, get up.
Fourth tackle now.
Hold.
The experience of CU. He elects it to come back to the right-hand side of him. Nickau. 8 away from the goal line as he rolls over. 12 points to 4 here on the Bar TV scoreboard. Are they about to strike back? If they get the football back, the Pickers, there could be 6 to go. Even better, there's a penalty. Held back, can't take him out. Penalty to the Pickers on the goal line of the Lions.
Let's see if the Pickers can finish this set with a little more finesse. I'll tell you what's looked dangerous. CU inside ball, Nickau. As these South forwards tire late in the game, I think that'll be the play they look back to. It's what given them their only points for the match so far.
Clydesdale goes himself. Well, if the crowd's ever going to get behind the lone side, it needs to be now. 12 points to 4. This is the run by Metcalf. Beat one, supports there, they could score here. He rolls over and scores. Has he lost the football? He's held up. He's held up.
Held up, tackle 3.
Well, that could be interesting. We won't have a replay right now. He's held up.
Tackle 3.
And it's tackle 3. So it's a play the ball back to the Pickers.
Time's out already.
So the clock has stopped here.
Tackle 3.
The Maitland Sports Ground.
It should be tackle.
Referee just trying to figure out if it's tackle 3 or 4. He's saying it's tackle 3.
You right, Tish? Right.
So we've got 27 minutes of the match. As we keep on alluding to, the season comes down to this. CU has the football. Back to Robards, offloading. This is Lacey. He's close to the line. Held in the tackle there by Scott Briggs. Tackle 4, 1 to go after this. CU goes himself from dummy half and scores. Oh, he's instrumental from that area. How many tries in 2014 have we seen CU do exactly what he's done just there? It's more than once, I'll give you the tip, Michael Cox.
He is dangerous out of there. He showed it at the top level.
Yeah.
He can get in and sniff out a try from that spot, and just sustained pressure from Maitland. Nothing fancy. Nothing they've done well today has been fancy. We saw the winger Lacey go very close there, held up. South's goal line defence has been good, but we see CU here. There's a lot of defenders there, but he went himself. Try for Maitland, and they're back in this contest.
Oh, we've got a game on our hands now. Here's the kick from the eastern touchline. Chad Solman. 12-8. 25 minutes remaining in the match. Souths third on the premiership ladder on 22 competition points. Here's the kick now from Solman. Looks good off the boot. It's a conversion. 2-point ball game. 25 to go. Oh, we're alive and kicking here at the Maitland Sports Ground. Michael Cox.
10-12. Can't help but think back to Solman's earlier attempted conversion where he missed from nearly right in front, hit the upright.
Stay behind him.
Let's hope that isn't a telling factor for his sake as we get down into the business end of this game. Look, Maitland have to win this game. They have to win next week if they're to play semi-final football.
Release, Marcus.
And we're seeing the sort of effort levels they need. Souths have been great as well, and I think we're in for a tremendous end of this game.
Clear the rock. Hold square.
Macquarie still
Hold.
leading the defending premiers. And Curry behind Central. Central are in front at the Curry Sports Ground. So Maitland need to win. That's the equation. Down inside the 30 they go.
Stand. Hold square.
Souths holding on to a 2-point lead. Simpsons with the football. Beat one. Picked up and dumped there by Tyler Carter.
Stand now. Hold, Paddy, hold.
24 minutes remaining in the match. Rodamar turns it back. Edwards straightens up. Put the palm into Pat Roberts. Briggs switches it. Hurrell. Rodamar dancing around, not quite sure where to go.
Good tackle. Stand now.
And Toomey cleans him up. Higgins. Briggs. Kicking. Where's the chaser? Have they? Speaking of South, they just couldn't quite get it, and now Neckhow. He has the ball and he's been cleaned up there by Cordner. Coxie 10 out from their own goal line.
Should have scored South. Briggs with another dangerous end of set. He's such a talented player with the ball at his foot. He put it into the end goals, but they couldn't capitalise.
So CU sends it right on the third tackle with 23 minutes remaining in the match. CUC has got the ball. Over 51 NRL games. Look for his guidance in the last 23 minutes. They're without Billy Towers. So they're not at full strength. They're without Jeremy Salupu. They're without Josh Morrison. And they're still in this contest with 23 to go. Ball's gone over the top, heading towards the touchline. Wasn't played at there by Pywell. And it's in the touch. Coxie 5 out from their own goal line.
I think he might have played at it, but came nowhere near it. That was a horrid bounce as he kicked it right towards him, and it was like a Shane Warne wronging. Yeah. It just bent him all out of shape, and luckily for the winger, hopped over his head and into touch. South get a chance to settle, bring themselves back into the contest. They still lead. They've had to withstand a little bit of pressure, but let's see if they work it out of their own ground.
You're on Bar TV Sports. Michael Cox and Peter Jolly telecasting the Newcastle Rugby League competition. The Tooheys Cup. Second last premiership round until the final series of 2014. And the Rosellas in trouble against Macquarie Central. Over Curry as well. So we're not a broken record, but we've just got to keep reminding you it's a must-win game for the Pickers. It's all or nothing.
PJ, lock in. PJ, lock in. Thanks, mate.
In trouble. 3 men try to put him on his back, but he doesn't want to go around, does he? See you. With 20 minutes remaining in the contest. Rothamar
No more in the ruck.
wraps him up. See you. Back to Clydesdale. Kicking. The ball will go in the in-goal area. Will it go dead? It does. Back out to the 20. 20 to go. 12-10. 2-point ball game here at Maitland.
Maitland continue to struggle with their options, last play options. They let them off the hook there, South.
The Simpson
1, surrender. 0 now, stand up.
on the first play.
Tackle
Liam
down.
Richards.
Movement.
Doesn't he and Bo Simpson stand out? Wouldn't be surprised if they don't call him Big Bird Giraffe. Eh?
Go.
Higgins. Back to Schneider.
3.
Roberts has put in everything. Back to Higgins.
Chase.
Briggs.
Oh, touched.
Knocked down. Will they get it back south? They do get it back. It's play on. Nick Howe
0.
from the Pickers.
Stand up.
Had to take the tackle, and that he did on Vivali Eli. This is Strickleton.
1.
CUC wraps him up.
Pat Robarts.
Higgins going from dummy half himself. He'll be hard to put down. They finally achieve it. A metre out from the goal line. Here come the Lions. Referee said knock on. Knock on to South. 2 out from the Pickers goal line.
That could prove crucial. They look very dangerous there, the Lions. They've been denied. I think Scott Briggs trying to argue that there were hands in the ruck. Close to the line, the clearance from the play the ball just wasn't prompt enough.
So both sides
Giving up the ball.
sucking in the big ones. We'll have a look on the Bar TV replay to see what all the
Close your mouth. Get in.
fuss
Go. Go.
was about.
Out.
Let's just stick with the action here. Let's see what he's just lost it, has he?
1.
Well.
Stand up. Stand.
50-50.
Die.
Referee was in the spot. Now he's giving a penalty to the Pickers. Penalty to the Pickers.
Roll away. Make an effort to it.
He didn't move in time, holding down the tackler. So they're going to put boot to the football, and Solomon bangs it into touch, and what a great touch finder. 2 short of the halfway line.
That's something we don't see often enough when a player kicks for touch. It's an opportunity to make metres that your forwards don't have to. He's taken them up near the halfway line. Maitland with a great opportunity here
1.
to attack and start their set within Lions territory.
Okay, let's see what they've got here. CU. His time running out. 17 minutes to go.
Clear the rock. Hand off the ball.
CU goes in a dummy half like he's been doing all day. Sends it away now to Clydesdale. This is Carter. Higgins
3. Stand.
wraps the
Clear the
ball
rock.
and carry her up. So you see in a dummy half. Cross to the 10. This is Metcalf. Offloading the ball. He's not afraid to take it to the line and offload. Captain coaches with it. PJ Ellis. He knows to not offload in a situation like this. CU from dummy half. Back to Robards. And he's inside the 10. 2-point ball game. The Pickers goes forward through CU. He locks up. He's got support. CU offloads out the back. Toomey's with the ball. They flick it out the back. They've gone backwards. Nick Howe. He's got to pick the football up. He's lost it. It's still on the last. They'll kick it off the boot of Clydesdale. The ball's up there. They come down with it. Lacey's lost the ball. Briggs puts him away. Penalty to South. 10 out from their own goal line.
We don't want to sound like a broken record, but Maitland again, last set. It has been like a broken record for them on the last play. They're just...
Thanks, buddy.
It looks dangerous when everyone's throwing the ball around, but where's the direction? Where's the last play that just gets it into that in goal and consolidates?
They've had their chances, haven't they? This is for Vivali Eli.
And you've got to mention the Maitland front rowers. Ryder and Metcalf have just been outstanding. They go forward, they carry, their work rate and the quality of it, and they've been let down, you have to say, by the Maitland halves and playmakers.
Yes, you were.
The referee just tells Lewis Schneider to go back and play the ball. We're inside the last 15 minutes of the match.
Marcus, separate.
South leading by 12-10. Can they close the game off with another try? You get the feeling they could if they're good enough to get over the line. This is Briggs kicking towards the end goal area. Lacey's back there. Cuts off the ball from going into the field, into the end goal area.
Now that's a kick. That's a last play option. Scott Briggs, he just torments the defence with his array of kicks. Just great touch, great variation. You just don't know what he's going to do. But what he does do isn't unimaginative. It isn't straightforward. And he makes it difficult for the opposition to get a read on him. And now we see Maitland, third tackle, mid-tackle count, trying to work it out of their own ground.
Through Howie Grant. Bench this week. Back to the left-hand side, of course, off the interchange bench. This is CU looking to probe a gap somewhere in the tight defence of the Lions. This is the last tackle, so they'll need to not lose the football. Referee has said knock on. He's lost the ball. Right in front of the tent. I guess the Pickers were hoping that the tent may have been in the middle of the ground so the referee couldn't see the play the ball. Maybe we need to move the tent.
Well, they're going to need somewhere to hide if South can come up with some points.
That's why they've got the tent.
It won't be enough because they've had enough opportunities to win this game in front of their home crowd. They've had the chance to seize their own destiny, control their outcome of the season, and win their way into a semi-final, but they've let themselves down with silly errors, poor quality to the end of their sets, and now they're under pressure. There's a lot of hands on hips there when that ball was dropped. A little bit of disheartened sort of attitude from Maitland. They need to lift here because Souths are going to throw everything at them and expect some trickery at the end of this set from either Liam Higgins or Scott Briggs.
They go the short side. Down to the 20-metre line. Tackle 3. 12-10. This is Briggs. Noel Tupu. Spinning it around. Lavali Eli. 10 metres away from the line. Briggs goes himself. Last tackle there. Higgins. Hurrell. Backline play coming here. Pickers somehow got it back. Credit to the Pickers to get the football back. Coxie 5 out from their own goal line.
Yeah, but not a bad result for South in terms of the arm wrestle. Maitland start their set. This is third tackle. They're barely 10 metres out from their own line.
12 minutes remaining on Bar TV. The Pickers down by 2. It's all or nothing for the Maitland Pickers. They know that. The Lions can finish as high as second or third if they can come away with the competition points here today. Here's the kick inside the 40. Ball bouncing. Rolling back to the 10-metre line. And the red V. Are they about to lift? Do they need to lift? They'll get a penalty, one might think here.
That was a tired-looking tackle on the kick chase there by Clydesdale. Got up a little bit high, and he's just given South a much-needed leg up into this game. You just saw on the kick return there from Steve Witters, just tiptoeing his way back. The centre of this field, both teams have handled the conditions quite well, it must be said.
Yeah.
It's slippery, it's wet. We saw just enough rain to get that film of grease on the surface and on the ball at the start of the game. But both teams, for the most part, have played the right type of football. But we just saw there on the kick return with Witters, didn't really step out. It wasn't throwing any Benji Marshall-like sidesteps as he came back to the defence. And I think whoever does the simple things best for the rest of this game will come away with the win.
You're exactly right. Handling errors in these types of conditions has been exceptional for both sides. This is Higgins. Up by 2. Overlap out wide. Ball's into touch. No. Close from going into touch. Must have only been a whisker. Not played at, says the referee, and they're on the attack again. With the ball this time is Edwards. He charges down inside the 10-metre line. He's going to be brought down now. 10 metres away from the line. Last tackle coming up now for South Newcastle Lions. They're leading by 12 points to 10. Briggs, he kicks it towards the end goal area. The ball will be in the end goal. Nick Howe, he can't get back into the field of play. Good kick chase there and finished off by Witters in goal.
Maitland already low on energy. Now they have to withstand another set. Great end of the set, Scott Briggs. He's just shown his class today, and that's what they need to do. Just put it in the end goal. And that's what they'll be trying to do again this set.
Clever kick. Good chase. And it's resulting in this. The goal line dropout. Goes 45 on the fly. Too short of the halfway line. And this is Ben Tupu. Running like he has gas left in him at full speed. He's not running at half empty, that's for sure.
Just something to note there, Chad Solomon, who gets into a push and shove with one of South's forwards, came away from that line dropout just feeling a right hamstring a touch. Walking a little gingerly at the moment.
Ben Tupu flicks it out the back. Play on, Vivali Eli. He's close to that goal line as the rain comes dribbling down. A few showers crossing the ground as well. South's on the attack. 12 metres out from the line. Briggs back to Edwards. He takes the line on. Edwards is away. Back to Schneider. Schneider puts the big palm into Clydesdale. And Clydesdale comes back and says, "You're not going to get away with that. I'll finish you off." 5 metres out from the goal line. Witters back through the 11 in Strickleton. CU's wrapped him up. Last tackle now. Desperate defence from the Pickers. They're going to run it. Way through Briggs. Back on the inside. The Lions will have to chance their arm through the passing. Now they'll kick. Chasers are coming through. He's taking a dead just. Ryan Lacey.
He's lost control.
He lost control, but he was able to take it dead before that happened. So more pressure for the Pickers. 12-10, 8 to go in the match.
2 straight line dropouts for Maitland. 3rd set on their line. The pressure builds and their season is on the line. This is it.
Let's go.
If they give up points here, it's going to be hard for them to stay in this contest.
Do you chat?
Bar TV, hashtag Bar TV on Twitter and get in touch. As we see now, the Lions. Can they finish them off once and for all in this set of 6? This is Noel Tupu. Back to now to Higgins. He goes himself. Still going, Higgins. He'll score. Higgins has gone all the way. Oh, he's knocked the New South Wales Manly's time player for nothing. Oh, he's dangerous. All his experience was on display right there. He's finished off the Pickers season, one might say, for 2014.
They just chipped away at the dam and it finally burst. It wasn't anything fancy. It was simple. It was a run from dummy half. Liam Higgins, who's been great today, he's just really directed the play well from dummy half. He's picked his moments. He gave his team the first try, and he's going to give them what might be the backbreaker for Maitland and probably their season gone.
Gone right before their very own eyes. Here's the read-up. Higgins scooting away. No full-back position to get him. Nick Howe was just left of him. And is that the win with 7 to go?
It just came at the end of 2 full sets. That was the 3rd set, just hammering away at their line. And Maitland looked tired. They look tired. They've put everything into this game, but they've lacked direction at times, and they've let themselves down with a couple of disciplinary sort of issues. But just when it came down to it, this is crucial.
Vital. Here's the kick. Can they? No, he's missed it. So it's still ball game alive, one might say. 6-point ball game, 6 minutes to go. Well, can they do it? You're a racing man. What are the odds, Michael Cox?
Well, don't worry about the odds. If I'm a racing man, I'm asking Scott Briggs about that performance of that kick. For a crucial kick, he's shanked it like I would one of my fairway drives on the first at the golf club, which isn't very well. He's hit that so poorly, and he's walked into it and addressed the ball without the sort of purpose you would think that a 6-point game. That was absolutely key, that kick, and he's he's missed as badly as
He's
as you
down
can.
to the rock. Stand. Hold square. Go.
7 minutes remaining on the official scoreboard.
3.
That's a
movement.
window of opportunity Maitland
Don't wait
needed.
on
They're a
him.
converted try behind. 6 minutes to go. Let's see what they can do. They'll get another crack.
4. Stand. Wait, here.
I don't know if a draw is enough though. Here's the kick.
Outside.
Briggs kicking
Focus on.
inside. No, just outside the 40. Nick Howe. He's going to go back and see it go dead. Back out to the 20. Well, 6 minutes to go. Don't go anywhere. With Michael Cox. And Peter Jolly in the Bar TV commentary box. This is the Newcastle Rugby League. And this is Bar TV. The Newcastle Rugby League. And for all the faithful friends of Bar TV listening to our telecast down in the Illawarra,
20. Come on.
live coverage tomorrow of Collies versus
1.
Wests.
Stand up. Hold
Live
square.
coverage from
Hold.
3 o'clock down there in Wollongong. 10 metres out from the halfway line. Of course, it's the Illawarra final series.
To the rock.
And tomorrow's match is the minor semi-final. The season is on the line right here before our very own eyes.
3. Todd.
The Pickers, can they lift? They need to lift. 4.5 minutes to go in the match. Back to Nick Howe. He charges in the line. Flicks it out the back. Referee says play on. CUC has got the ball. They're keeping it alive. And that's what they need to do. This is the 4th tackle now for the Pickers. CUC sends it back down to Clydesdale. On it comes to the Picker inside the 20-metre line. This is the last tackle now for the Maitland Pickers. CUC, they're going to go high to the air. Clydesdale puts a kick up. It's in the in-goal area.
No fast one.
And what type of kick was that?
20 to 0.
I think that was a pretty good summation of Maitland's day.
Woeful?
I wouldn't call it woeful. The effort's been there
Let's go.
through the middle of the park.
Don't give away, silly.
They've done
Don't give
things
away,
like
silly.
complete for the most part. They've competed at the contest when it comes to the.
Just their last tackle plays have been a bit
been
dodgy.
Poor. They've been unimaginative. They've been just end over end kicks into the end goal like we saw there from Clydesdale.
But Coxie, I think that comes down. They've lost their 5'8", their kicker as well. And, you know, Billy Towers taking that all into consideration to be just down by 6. Not a bad effort.
I'll give him a 10 out of 10 for effort.
Yeah.
But they've just been let down by that touch of finesse and quality at the end of their sets. And, you know,
And this man's been dangerous. Higgins offloading the ball. Witters inside the 30-metre line. 3 minutes on the clock to go. Briggs from dummy half. Back to Witters. He'll spin. He'll reach out and score. Oh, Steve Witters, his 2nd try of the match. 13 tries in season 2014. Now the game is over and possibly over for 2014 to the Picker.
that's Maitland's season over, and it's a handy piece of momentum going into the semi-final for South. And typical, we saw it at one end with Maitland with a poor end to their set, and then we saw South with a bit of quality from Scott Briggs and Witters, that man at the back, Steve Witters. He's been great today. 2 tries to take his seasonal tally to 13. Great play lines. Tell me, Peter, you've watched a lot of football this season. You've covered a lot of football. West looking shaky. Souths with a little bit of momentum now going into the semis. They've stopped the 2 games. It's not like they've played too badly from what I've read in the last couple of weeks, particularly last week. They finished strongly. They've played some semi-final football here. Any team containing Scott Briggs, Liam Higgins has got to be a threat. Are they a genuine premiership winning chance?
Yeah, I think they are, but I think the big dark horse in this competition is the Cessnock Goannas. I really do think that, you know, if you take the equation out of the top 3 or 4 teams, you don't want to face the Cessnock Goannas. They are on a roll. They might be doing a curry. We've seen a lot of football. Yeah, you can't go past, you know, the classes of West. Yes, they mightn't be having a great season, well, in the back end of that season, but they've got the class on the day, and that's what you're going to be scared about. If they switch it on the day, they can beat any team. But if you take that out of the equation, Souths, they just couldn't get the money over Macquarie last week. I think, to answer your question, if I take West out of the equation, I think it's going to come down to Macquarie this team, Souths or Cessnock. I think that's your top three. That's pretty much your top five. But I think you'll find if you take West out of the equation, if you're a betting man, it'd be hard to do that. But I think there's going to be a bolter come from somewhere. And I think this bolter could well be the Cessnock go-inners. Because, you got the class of the Riley Browns, the brothers up there, and they just seem switched on. That's not to say no other team's going to be able to not do it. But I just get a feeling that if you come from Cessnock, you're going to be in for a good 3-4 weeks. Here's the clock just counting down to the last 20-odd seconds.
20 seconds, there's 20 seconds.
And where to for Maitland, Peter?
Right,
This is their season gone. They're playing for Pride next week at Harker Oval at Wests.
yeah.
Do you see wholesale changes here? What's the talk around Maitland?
I think the talk around Maitland is just finish it on a high for their captain coach, PJ Ellis, next year. Do it for PJ. He's given a lot to Maitland this year and seasons beyond that. Let's do it for PJ next week at West. So it is full time here. Souths, too good over the Maitland Pickers. 22 points to 10 here on Bar TV. And Coxie, the people that just tuned into our coverage, this is PJ Ellis's last year as captain coach for the Pickers. They're going to be bringing back their 2010 premiership winning coach Noel Dent next year. You put that question to me, I think it's quite simple. They got to do it for PJ next week. And West's not in great form, so anything is possible next Sunday on Bar TV. We're going to be covering that match, of course, between Wests and Maitland. And next week, Souths will be taking on the Curry Bulldogs in the final premiership round next week before the final series starts.
We've seen a tremendous game of football here today. I've loved every minute of it. It's been tense.
Yeah.
It's been scrappy at times. It's been both teams just in the grip of a semi-final battle, and South have come away with it 22-10.
And mate, that's why we call it the real NRL.
It's real.
That's what it is. That's what it is.
It harks back to the old days. It's proper football. Sometimes it's hard to relate with the top level NRL of today, with the pace it's played at, with the size of the athletes. But here we see some real back to basics football, and it's great to see. Which team wants it more? Which team's got the perseverance and the patience to play the football right to the end? And today we saw it with South, and I thought both forward packs played themselves to a standstill. We have to give special mention, I think, to the front rowers out there for Maitland. They just keep taking the ball forward. Peter Rata and Dan Metcalf. Terrence CUC was good, but for South, it was Higgins, Liam Higgins, the hooker. Scott Briggs, the 5'8". His kicking game was first rate, as you'd expect from a player with his experience and his skill level. And that was probably the difference today between the two teams. His kicking game just put them in the positions where they needed to be to capitalise, and it was up to their quality backs to do that. So South's come away with the win, 22-10, double to Steve Witters. Tries to Strickleton and Higgins. Briggs kicked 3 from 4. Maitland tries to Nickow and Terrence CU. Solomon with kick 1 from 2. But season gone for Maitland, and South, well, they probably booked themselves a top 3 spot and a second bite at the cherry in the semi-finals.
Indeed. And next week, of course, you just mentioned there, South will play Curry, while Maitland travel to Harker Oval in the last premiership game before 2010 premiership winning coach Noel Dent comes back into the fold here at Maitland. Well, Michael Cox will have to do it another time. We will not have to wait another 7 years, I do not hope, until we're back in the commentary box together. Mate, thank you so much for coming up here to the Maitland Sports Ground. I appreciate that so much, and everything's going good in Hong Kong?
Yeah, it's great, and I do miss the local footy, and it's been an absolute privilege to be here and call the rugby league at one of my favourite grounds, an historic ground, Maitland Sports Ground. The sight lines aren't the best. We're a long way from the action here, Peter, but I wouldn't want it any other way. It's a great day out, and a hugely underrated competition, the real NRL. I was taken aback. $6 to get in. What a day's entertainment.
Yeah,
I didn't mind
fantastic.
paying it. I don't care that I don't have a press pass. $6.
Yeah,
They
very good for
really
that,
should
isn't
charge
it?
more, but I'm glad that they don't. And yeah, credit to the competition for attracting the type of talent we've seen on display here today.
Fantastic, mate. And also, don't forget, tomorrow we're back on deck from Illawarra. It's the minor semi-final from 3 o'clock between Wests and the Collegians, the Collies. Just before we go, you were down at the Illawarra Mercury. Bar TV's got that game tomorrow. Another fantastic bush footy competition, the Illawarra Rugby League.
Yeah, the Illawarra Rugby League, another heartland of rugby league. We've got the Newcastle to Hunter Valley, and there's so many parallels. They're great rivals, Newcastle and Illawarra, but it's a rivalry with a healthy level of respect. You know, having worked down in the Illawarra for 2 or 3 years and being a Nova Castrian myself, I know all about it. The rivalry between when it comes to that inevitable country divisional championship match between the Newcastle Rebels and the Illawarra divisional side. There's a great feeling around that because the two areas can so relate to one another, the people from the areas and the rugby league competition, and it is a competition not unlike this one where you see guys with it's NRL caliber talent playing at an accessible level and a style of footy that does take you back to those days of the Winfield Cup in the early 90s and in the 90s. It's all about big front rowers doing what they do and the little halfbacks, the crafty halfbacks and hookers doing what they do. Brawn and skill, the match, it's what it's all about.
Indeed, and that's why Bar TV's on board. Real NRL, and it's an absolute privilege to actually come here and telecast the Newcastle Rugby League. So on behalf of Michael Cox, I'm Peter Jolly. On behalf of everybody here at the Bar TV Productions, we'll see you tomorrow, live from Wollongong for the minor semi-final. Don't forget, 3 o'clock down in the Gong. Until then, it's bye for now.